In this slightly different episode of Restore It, I'm going to bring you up to date on the current projects on the channel, talk about my plans for each of them, and also answer a few questions I've been seeing in the comments recently, whilst I swap out the 1M steering wheel for an Alcantara version of the original that was wrapped by RoyalSteeringWheels. I also have some big news which I'll get to at some point during this episode. You're probably wondering why I'm working on the 1M instead of the 3 E30 projects that need finishing. And that's because things don't always go according to plan, especially when it comes to car restoration. For example, with the 325i Sport, the new panels got stuck in Norway for some time due to the lockdowns, and the rear quarters weren't even in existence when the old ones were cut off due to some minor miscommunication. So the new quarters are currently being made and will be shipped out as soon as they're ready, but this is just one example of something that hasn't gone as smoothly as I planned for. The tail panel, side skirts and a few other bits are about to be shipped out to me on their own, and if they can be welded in without the quarter panels being present, that episode will be out soon. Once the quarter panels do arrive and get welded in, that will be the majority of the bodywork done, and then it's on to preparing the car for new undercoating and paint. As soon as the paint and undercoating are done, I can start the rebuild series, and anything I haven't sorted before that point will either get restored or replaced right before it goes into the car. I have a few more episodes lined up that are standalone restorations of parts I haven't done yet, and they'll be out as soon as they get done. And that's pretty much the plan for the sedan at the moment. But before we carry on, I want to thank GetRoman for sponsoring this episode. Quite worryingly, erectile dysfunction is more common than you might think. A whopping 52% of men over the age of 40 experience ED at some point. Even worse, roughly 75% of those guys don't seek treatment. That's why Roman has made it easy to chat with experts online. With Roman, you can get medical care for ED from the comfort and privacy of your own home, so that you can handle everything online in a convenient, discreet manner. Getting started is super simple. Just go to getroman.com/restore and complete an online visit. If it's decided that the treatment would be appropriate, they can prescribe genuine medicine that can be delivered in discreet packaging right to your door with free 2-day shipping. And if you click my link at the top of the video description, you'll get $15 off your first order of ED treatment. So come on lads, talk to the experts. ED can be a tough one to tackle, but it's really important to get checked out, and GetRoman make it easy. Thanks to GetRoman for supporting the channel. Let's get back to the update and the 1M steering wheel. As for the touring, if you can remember back to the last episode it was in, we fitted the engine and transmission into a now clean engine bay. I had some issues with the pre-facelift engine going into a facelift car. I now understand that there are differences between the two, and a few things that need to be done to make the swap successful. It wasn't the end of the world, but the whole thing came to a standstill so I could keep the videos coming. Once I've worked out exactly what I've done wrong and get it running, I can finish that episode, and then drive the touring until the Sport and the M3 are finished, at which point I'll start a full concourse restoration series on the touring. Speaking of the M3, this project isn't too far from being finished. The engine, transmission and LSD are all being worked on by a company called S14 Motorsport. The bumper and side skirts need to be properly aligned, and the interior is going to be done by us, as Antonio has bought all new levers for the front seats and rear bench. There are so many random things like the firewall installation, boot trim, radiators, the locking system, the interior, the engine, transmission and LSD that all need to be fitted once they're ready to go in. So there are lots of episodes to come on the M3 before it's finished. They just take time to organise and film, but we'll get there. Because YouTube is my full-time job, I need to keep the videos coming at a steady rate, which is why I've decided to start making videos on other BMWs on this channel, like the 1M. There's a list of jobs to do, and I might as well share it with you guys, as I find it just as interesting as the E30 stuff, as I'm sure some of you do too. For example, the clutch has started slipping and needs replacing. There are a few bad scratches on the bodywork that would be a great chance to try a smart repair. The wheels are in need of a restoration, so lots of opportunity for content there. So moving on to the big news that I spoke about at the start of this video. As some of you will know, I moved out of my friend's garage in the UK into a rented workshop in Spain not long after I started the channel. I've been in Spain for about a year and a half now, and although I've really enjoyed my time here, it's not as easy for me to do what I do here compared to in the UK. So the news is that I'm moving back to the UK and into a proper industrial unit. For the first time in my life, I'll have access to 3-phase power for things like a proper extraction system, car lifts, milling machines and all that sort of thing. Having 2 car lifts alone will allow me to work on 2 projects at once in a way that I've not been able to before. The workshop I'm currently in isn't tall enough for them, nor does it have the 3-phase power that most car lifts need. So, the plan is to move as soon as possible and record the entire thing. Once I'm set up in the new unit, I'll start looking for people to come on board to help on both channels, Restore It and Rusty Nut Restorations. Rusty Nut Restorations is my second channel for those of you that don't know. I'll be restoring antiques, old tools and many other random things that aren't to do with BMWs over on that channel. Feel free to head over there now and get subscribed with the bell on so you'll be notified when I start posting videos again. I also have plans for 2 more E30 projects that are going to be very different from the ones I've done so far. That's all I'll say for now, but if you do have a crashed or rusty E30 project for sale in the UK, contact me as I might just be interested. And that's about it for this update. If you have any questions, please do leave them down in the comments. I do my best to read all the comments in the first 24 hours. And finally, I'll leave you with the rest of the steering wheel installation. Thanks for listening to me ramble on whilst I've got a cold, and I'll see you next time for a more traditional episode.